Hey everyone, it's Millie from Second Spring Soaps, and today I'm making a new soap. Oh, there it is. Here's my fragrance oil. I'm using root beer fragrance oil from Nature's Garden. This is the first time I'm going to be using this one, but it smells really, really amazing. It smells just like a root beer sucker. So I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Your mama.
Yes, Benjamin. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started by putting my lye water into my oils. And we're just going to blend this up like normal. What I'm planning to do with this soap is I'm going to leave the base brown. The root beer fragrance is supposed to discolor to a tan or a beige, but I'm wanting a dark, dark brown. So we're going to go brown with the base, and then I'm going to do some cream colored piping on top. I do want this pretty close to a thick trace because I'm doing the piping on top. Alright, so we're at emulsification now, I think. Yeah, looks pretty emulsified. Yeah, we're not changing colors too drastically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with separating out what's going to be the cream color on the top. This isn't going to get any fragrance oil since I don't want any discoloration in it. So I'm going to separate this out and set it aside, and we'll mess with it in a little while. And then what's left over is going to be our base. I'm going to start off with putting in some cocoa powder to make it brown. And I figure I'd go ahead and do the cocoa powder first, since if the fragrance wants to accelerate, then I'll just be able to toss it right in. That's about maybe a teaspoon. We're going to get this nice and mixed up. Goodness. And I'm wanting this to be pretty thick too. I don't want it too thin because it needs to hold the piping on top. Alright, I'm not seeing any specks. I'm going to let this sit for a minute or two and get a little thicker, and then I'm going to add in our fragrance oil. Alright, so I'm back. I let this sit for a few minutes, and I actually added in some of the cream color back into the brown. I thought maybe I separated out a bit too much. But this is getting thicker, which is what I'm wanting, and I'm going to go ahead and add in the root beer. From everything that I read, it says it doesn't accelerate, but you never know. So I'm going to use about 1/3 of an ounce. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. I want a really good, strong root beer flavor. Ooh, look at that. Fragrance oil went white. That's crazy. Okay. I swear, you see new things in soap every time you make it. So I'm just going to get this really nice and mixed in. I didn't want to use this stick blender because I didn't want it to go too fast on me. This is wild looking. Oh my gosh.
I know. Why? Mama.
It smells amazing. It smells like the old Dum Dums root beer suckers. My husband, who loves root beer, just thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. Uh-oh. My son got fire trucks for his birthday, so I guess the fire trucks are here. These little pieces are not wanting to mix in. That's crazy. I might have to bust out the stick blender. It is getting a little thicker, though. I can tell it's getting thicker. I guess the firemen are here to try to help me out. Let me pop the stick blender back in here and see if I can't get these chunks blended in. I know, it's loud, isn't it, bud? There we go, I've got it all. Yes, honey. You'll have to get down and get him. I can't get him for you right now. So, I've got the fragrance blended in. We're getting nice and thick, which is excellent. Pop this top off the stick blender. And I'm going to go ahead and pour the brown into the mold. And I'll probably go ahead and put in my dividers too. I've really been finding that those dividers will leave drag marks on my soap if I do anything on top and then put the dividers in afterwards, so I have been trying to avoid that. Get all that soap in. It smells so good. So happy about it. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes. And make sure it's nice and thick. Oh, wait, I was going to put the dividers in. Oh, and I need to... get all those air bubbles out. That's going to be a pretty brown. That's going to turn out really nice. Let's stick these dividers in. Alright, when I come back, I'm going to be prepping the top layer, which is going to be the cream back here. We'll be prepping that. I'll get my piping bag going, and then we'll get the rest of the soap done. So I'll be right back. Alright, everybody, and we're back. So I've got the regular old root beer setting up over here. I did spritz it a little bit with rubbing alcohol. And then over here, I've got my cream colored base, which is going to be the piping for the top. And then I've also prepped some titanium dioxide to whiten it a little bit. I'm just going to get this mixed in. There we go. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the stick blender and try to hurry things along. So, well, not hurry things along, but you know what I mean. got to be at a good, thick enough consistency so I can pipe it. Very pretty white though, I'll tell you. One thing I did do is I left the fragrance oil out of this. I didn't want it to go brown. I wanted it to stay as white as I could. I've done piping before. I've done a lot of piping with hot process soap. I've not done a lot with cold process, so this is going to be a little adventure for us. Alright, I think I'm going to let it be now. I think I've probably mixed it to death at this point. Pop this piece off. Boop, 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 boop. Really think this is going to look nice. I'm really excited because this is going to go to my August show. This soap is. I'm getting it made in time. So it's going to be so good. I'm so excited. Yeah, we're starting to look pretty good now. I do want it a tiny bit thicker. We'll let it sit. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys what I've got going on over here. This is my piping bag. I've got my tip here. I'm just using a regular star tip. I've got my bread tie, and I just pretty much just slid it down into this cup. I got it opened up on the inside, so the soap icing will go in here, and then I can just pull this up and go with it. I think we're almost there. Yeah. I don't want to get excited and get started before it's ready to go. I really want to be nice and patient. But see how good that works? I do want to be good and patient. We're getting a pretty good trace now. I'm starting to think we're getting there. I really did try to overblend on purpose and get it set up faster. And with it not having any fragrance oil, then there's less of a chance that it's going to seize. I've seen some pretty piping though. Beautiful colors. You can get swirls out of piping. I've seen all kinds of cool stuff. I'm just going for plain Jane though. That's okay. The fragrance makes up for it. Alright, so I'm going to start off with attempting. There we go. I think I might let this set up a little more. It's still really runny. I'm going to let this set, and we're going to take another commercial break, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you all how the root beer turned out. I've not undone it yet, so I'm interested to see what happened. The peaks did not want to stay with me, so I guess I'll have to try popping another time, but I just ended up doing a real simple little swirl on top. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. So I'm going to pull this out. Let's get started. Move that mold out of the way. I haven't done anything to this. After the peaks fell, I went ahead and decided to gel it, so it did go through gel last night. That is a pretty brown. That's gorgeous. Love it. Alright, let's move this paper. There we go. Ooh. That is pretty. Look at the line between the brown and the white. That looks so good. Cool. I'm happy. I thought this soap would be a really good one to unmold for the camera. I've not done an unmolding since the Orchid Coconut, I think. So I thought that this would be a really good one. And the root beer scent is really strong. It's not morphed yet. I've heard that this has the potential to morph into like a licorice kind of scent. But so far so good. It's still doing its thing. I'm happy. Oh, you can see the kind of little creamy texture kind of dealio that I did on top. You can kind of see that better. I hate that those peaks fell. I really wanted to have the peaks, but that's okay. So let's push one out and see how we're doing here. I love it when my soaps gel because they just come out so easy. Here we go. And there's soap number 1. Looks really, really good. I'll let this sit for a day or two and then I'll clean it up with the veggie peeler, but I am happy with that. That looks awesome. The color is just right. Very cool. Let's do a few more. There we go. This is looking so good. I am so happy. And my husband is going to be thrilled. He smelled the soap last night and he gave it the Daniel stamp of approval. The bars look really clean too. There's not I don't see any air pockets. You know, any little air bubbles or anything like that. There's a little bit of funkiness right there, but I'll keep an eye on that. So far so good. So we got 3 down and 6 to go. Ooh, here's one that's already. He got excited. He wanted to get out of there. Very pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm totally digging it. It looks so good. For as much trouble as this soap gave me the other day, and me having to wait so long to mess with it, everything to thicken up and all that, I'm very, very happy with what I've got here. And I'm interested to see, that's a little bit of brown that's come up. I'll probably trim that off. But I'm interested to see if the brown goes any darker or how that's going to work out. There we go. And our last 3 little soaps here. These look amazing. I'm so happy with them. Cool. They look so good. So these are my root beer soaps. Come on, let's look. There we go. My root beer soaps. They'll be on Etsy probably mid-August. They'll also be at the Appalachian Fair in Gray, Tennessee, August 19th through the 25th. If you'll be in the area, come by and see us in the Farm and Home building. We're going to have a whole Etsy store. All of us local Etsy folks are getting together, so come out and see that. But that's my root beer. Fabulous. Alright, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you all later. Bye.